Is Freeman, Ryan Day, Ohio State and Notre Dame. Picking up second quarter. Ohio State down early, 7-0, and now we've got Jeremiah Smith, and he is special.
Yeah, I love this design. Alabama actually scored against Ohio State years ago with this very similar play. You fake almost like a reverse. Jeremiah Smith puts his foot in the ground, easy touchdown.
Ohio State then pulling ahead. They're up 14-7 late in the half. It's Howard buying time, and it's Quinshon Judkins.
I was wildly impressed with Will Howard last night. He kind of did whatever he wanted in the first half, escapes, and then finds Judkins in a soft spot.
21-7 at the break. Now, second play of the second half. It's Judkins again, and there he goes.
Jeff Saturday's favorite play of last night. Just absolutely dominant by the offensive line. The backers over-scrape. Beautiful cut by Judkins, and it's a long game to start the second half. 70
yards, longest run in championship game history, and then 2 plays later, it's Judkins again, and he cashes in. It's 28-7 Ohio State. They've run it to 31-7. Game is over, right? Wrong! Here comes Jaden Greathouse.
Greathouse had a really good game last week versus Penn State, and he's strong with the football in his hands. Catches that ball almost contested yards after the catch for a touchdown.
They go for the 2. They get it. It's 31-15. 10 minutes to go in the fourth. This is a huge moment. 3rd and goal from the 9. Leonard, Greathouse, no. 4th and goal from the 9. Dan, what do we do?
You got to go for it. You're only going to get so many possessions down 2 scores. This should have been a go-for-it opportunity for Notre Dame.
Instead, the doink from Mitch Jeter. Not only do they kick it, but they don't get it. It's still a 16-point game. We're under 5 minutes to go now in the fourth. Notre Dame gets it back after forcing a punt. How about this catch from Greathouse?
No one made themselves more NIL money in the playoff than Greathouse. He'd be a big-time player for this offense.
6 catches, 128 yards, 2 touchdowns for him. Notre Dame for the 2. And look at this play.
Of course you give it to the lacrosse kid. Face on, finds the reverse pass. Beautiful touch, and all of a sudden it's a ball game.
So it all comes down to this. If Notre Dame gets a stop, they've got a shot. 3rd and 11.
Here they come. Heavy pressure. Howard delivers downfield. And Smith, he's got it! Jeremiah Smith hadn't had a touch in the second half until that potential game clincher.
Dan, how about that call and that play?
I was absolutely floored that Notre Dame played Jeremiah Smith in one-on-one coverage. You knew they were going to throw him the football in that situation. Unbelievable throw and catch between him and Will Howard.
The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat was all that remained. It was Day's night. He gets the Gatorade bath. Ohio State, the national champs, for the first time in 10 years.
That's why I get up in the morning every day. It's just to try to make sure these guys reach their dreams and goals. That's all it comes down to. And then also just show as an example, when things get hard in life, you just keep swinging as hard as you can, you fight. That's our culture.
National champions, baby! Come on, man!
We didn't get it done, and it hurts. And my job is to figure out why, and I will. But I told these guys they've left this program better. I don't care if you're here for 1 year or you've been here for 6 years. Our program is in a better place.
All right, so Heather and Paul will join us later. We gave these guys a homework assignment to watch that game and be ready, and so we are loaded up and ready to go. Desmond Howard, I will start with you. You've covered the sport. I was watching you guys when you were in Ireland to begin the season, what feels like 10 years ago, and it comes to an end last night. What is your number one takeaway from Ryan Day and Ohio State, thinking about where they were after that Michigan game, winning the entire championship last night?
Yeah, well, I mean, I have to go before the Michigan game because you said you remember us in Ireland, and at that point, they were the favorites to win it all. Like, everyone picked Ohio State to win the national championship game. Obviously, the Michigan game did not go as planned or as expected for them, but they were able to regroup, and they played like the team in the college football playoff that we thought they would be during the regular season. They were explosive and, man, just so dynamic, destroying Tennessee in the opener, and then obviously seeking revenge on the Oregon Ducks in the Rose Bowl. Just walked through them, made everything look easy. You know, they hit a bump in the road against Texas, meaning they got a little more resistance from the Longhorns. But then, obviously, last night's game, guys, I don't know how you guys viewed it, but the way I looked at this game was David versus Goliath, because we knew that David was the role of Notre Dame. Understanding roster-wise, they could not match up with the talent of Ohio State. And we all assumed that when Ohio State went up about 2 scores or more, oh, this game is a wrap. I have to give a lot of credit to Ryan Day. He did rally the troops after the Michigan game. Congratulations on winning the national championship game. They did what they had to do. But the fight that I saw from Notre Dame to stay in that game and to make it a game, because at one point I'm like, okay, everyone's about to turn off their TV now, boy. Like, this is a wrap. But they fought and they hung in there. And a lot of credit to Coach Marcus Freeman, his staff, and those players. They fought and made it a game when we all thought it was over. So that's my take.
I think that the storyline in some ways, and we'll go little picture here in a minute because I've got to get into a few of the coaching decisions and things, but if you look at it, both teams hit a rock bottom, if you will, at one point this season. For Notre Dame, it was early. They lose that Northern Illinois game. The world is jumping on it. The world lives to jump on Notre Dame. So basically, write them off. Oh, my God. And they rebound and they come all the way here. And then Ohio State after that Michigan game. Maybe there is something to a football team, and maybe it goes beyond sports, to actually hitting rock bottom and figuring out a way
well,
to get it going.
The greatest part about expanding the bracket was teams like this can find their way back, right? Because in the years past, if they lose to Michigan the way they do, they may not even get an opportunity. So how cool is it to watch teams fight through this adversity, battle back? And again, everybody talked about them being the best team in college football to start the season. They finished that way for a reason. But you got to go through some tough days, some dark days. They did it and rebounded.
Can't fake urgency, and every team has issues. And if you lose, it's going to be some urgency in practice. There's going to be some attention to details. You don't reach these high highs unless you can attack the problems that you have. And when the problems that you have still result in wins, it's really, really hard to not go out and celebrate. It's really hard to spend that extra time on practice. It's really challenging to focus yourself to make the adjustments in the game plan because the strategy that you've been using works. But for both of these teams, they had to look in the mirror and figure out what was wrong.
There's more parity than ever in college football right now. There's also more distraction than ever in college football right now. So the 12-team playoff made sure that you mitigated those two things. You wanted to make sure that, hey, there's going to be more teams that are going to be better than we've ever had, so let's get them into the party more. And then the distractions of NIL and transfer portal, you're going to have an off Saturday at some point. Your 2 or 3 best players may just not show up at some point. That doesn't mean that you are not the best team overall in college football. And I think the 12-team playoff kind of reaffirmed that thought.
All right, so we'll have more time for big picture. Let's go little picture. I need 2 big questions answered. First of all, Desmond Howard, I'll come to you. Facing a critical 4th and 9, fourth quarter in a game where you're going to have limited possessions, down 16. Marcus Freeman chooses to try the field goal. Now, the disaster strikes because they don't make what feels like a chip shot anyway. What did you think of the decision to kick the field goal?
In real time, I thought that he made the right decision because you want to get points. I think at that point it's very important for you to end that particular drive with points. Don't forget, you're still going up against one of the best defenses, if not the best defense in college football. And it just seemed like they didn't have the rhythm to go for it on 4th down, to have the confidence to get into the end zone. So it's a field game. Those guys sitting at the desk, they'll tell you. Some of these decisions, it's about feeling. What do you feel at that time? How's the flow of the game? And at that point, personally, in real time, when I saw that, I said, take the points, get the field goal, and let's play great defense.
Danny?
I think you got to weigh the amount of possessions that you're going to have at some point. You know, you got 9 minutes or so left in the game. If you're lucky, you're going to get it back twice. I think you got to go for it there. It's easy to say when it's 4th and goal from the 3. 4th and goal from the 5, 4th and goal from the 9 is, hey, good luck. So there's a part of me that understands it, but the points, they have to matter. Also, the amount of times that you realistically think you're going to get the ball have to matter even more.
I'm going to say this. I agree with the decision. I think you kicked the field goal there. They had a 3rd and 11 with 2:38 left, and they singled the best player. If you're going to question like coaching this at that moment, I'm doubling. Somebody's going to beat me some other way. But at that point in the game, you take the points because if they stop them on 3rd down with those 3 points, they win that game, y'all. I mean, they go back to score. So I don't think that decision swayed the game that much. Unfortunately, you missed the field goal, but I think you have to at 4-9.
It's simple for me. It's possessions over points at that point. Like, you don't have to worry about the 3 points. So, I mean, the argument that Desmond and Jeff are making is a valid one. It's about psychological. Like, it's more than it is about about the actual score. It's like, we got young kids out here. We're moving the ball. We don't want to leave this and fail on fourth down. It'll be harder to get back from them. But fundamentally, when you're getting towards the end of the game, you only got so many possessions, and you need to be thinking about taking down the number of possessions, not the number of points, because you're not going to get enough opportunity.
All right, so that's one decision. They dovetail together. Because in the end, if they get a stop on 3rd and 11, they're going to get the ball back in a one-possession game with a chance to go down there and try and tie it. What did you see on the play?
I'm shocked that they singled up Jeremiah Smith. We were texting with Ryan Clark, whose son, Jordan Clark, is playing in the game. 10 seconds before the play, we all text out, it's going to number 4. So, let's say in a group chat, and the fact that Notre Dame decided to go all-out pressure and just play one-on-one, I was absolutely floored by. Great call by Ohio State. Watch Travion Henderson, the back, meet the linebacker. You got one-on-one coverage. Jeremiah seams inside to allow that corner to get even more inside. He creates so much space to the sideline. It's a great throw. I think it's one of the all-time great calls, one of the all-time clutch throw and catches for Ohio State, because Will Howard to Jeremiah Smith with the game, with the storyline, with the narrative on the line. It was huge.
Des, how about that play? Once upon a time, you won a Heisman Trophy playing wide receiver in college football. You know what it's like to be that guy. Jeremiah Smith looks like he's going to be as good as pretty much anyone we've ever seen. How about that play that basically seals a national title?
Yeah, I agree with the guys. It's a tough call as a defensive coordinator. You understand the circumstances, and what you want to do, and Dom can tell you better than anybody, you want to show that you have confidence and faith in your guys. And he wanted to show that he had confidence and faith in number 29, Gray, that he can check number 4. And listen, at this day and age, if you're going to play cornerback, you have to be able to defend the go route. I don't care who you are. I don't care what level you're on. You have to be able to defend the go route. And that was nothing but a go route. So at the I don't even know what to say about that. It's not like he ran some intricate route and broke him down. He just ran a go route. And so Al Golden had confidence that his guy could cover a go route, no matter who the guy is. I don't care who the receiver is. You have to be able to cover the go route. So Al Golden showed a lot of faith and confidence in his guys. And understand, guys, I know you guys know this, but they're the team coming into the CFP that played the most man-to-man of any team in the tournament. So they had to be who they are. They're not going to shy away from that. But it was a really good play by Jeremiah Smith. I mean, it was just a go route.
There's a couple of things from a defense perspective. When they are in those high leverage situations, we're always going to go zero. We're always going to go blitz zero because you don't want to give the quarterback time. You don't want to let him scramble and buy times. Like, it's traditionally, if you think about it, and all this, we saw it with the Chiefs last week. In those big situations, when it's on the line, you have to blitz. And the one thing that it seemed like they didn't coach their defensive backs to understand is when you are going zero, the quarterback has enough time to throw a quick slant or a go route, to Desmond's point. And like we played, when I practiced with the Broncos, we play a lot of zero coverage because we couldn't get a lot of pressure. And what we practiced was flat foot read. If it's not out now, I'm running deep. There's not enough time to run intermediate routes. So the problem with that was when Jeremiah did that tight stem, once he realized that was just a stem and not a slant, you got to haul ass and get deep because that's all you have left because he's not going to be able to then break it down and run a dig or run an out.
But can't we live in the world where, like, hey, we're going to double team him?
You can't double him and go zero. So, that's the point. I'm not saying that they made the right call, but I know that defensive coordinators in that situation, hey, we're not going to let you sit back there.
And you know the defense coordinator has gotten that permission from Freeman. Like, he's asking, can we bring it? Like, there's no, like, Freeman knows, everybody knows what they're doing at that situation, that moment in the game. The biggest thing for me is we're going to talk about the field goal. Like, it's this call to me was even more. At some point, you have to realize, like, we're all watching this game. Everybody in the building knows where the ball is going. Just double that guy. I don't care if we can't go zero. Yeah, play zone. And just, if they catch it underneath, maybe they convert, maybe they don't. Maybe you fumble it
because of the result. But when you play zone, the quarterback can buy time. So that's the point. And I think the challenging thing about running a deep route in that situation is, as a corner, I'm playing the sticks.
Yeah.
Like, because
You're
I'm
playing
not
at 12,
thinking,
right.
I'm not thinking that you got the heart to go deep on me in this moment. You just want to convert. So, like, that's a gutsy call and a hell of a play.
If Morrison was there, who's their All-American corner, we're having a different conversation. I thought Jeremiah Smith and most of the receivers, Rahouse, they had their way a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, with 29. I'm not trying to put him on the chopping block right now.
Right.
You have to expect they're going to throw the ball to number 4.
Yeah.
Right, but that's still a low probability throw. Like,
I
deep
disagree
ball.
with
No.
Because of the matchup?
Yes,
We all want that one.
Generally,
Yes.
a deep shot is a low probability play. I'm saying it didn't work out. I agree with you now that we see this happen. But if they get through and get the sack, we're having a different conversation.
Let me ask you this. You see the best receiver against not the best DB. Are you everybody in the building, including you, knows what is going on?
Relax.
We're saying thank you.
The difference is that when you're playing in Denver, everyone on your team is in the NFL.
Right.
Right? And in this case, you're talking about a kid who right now looks like he might be as good a freshman as we've ever seen in college, matched up one-on-one. It's a tough duty for pretty much anybody. So anyway, the little picture of the game is fascinating. Let's finish it with the big picture with you, Des, for this part. And again, we have all morning long to dive into this. You know, I'm old enough to remember when Ryan Day was getting fired. I know this has been like this.
Me
the
too.
source of a lot of controversy and all that sort of stuff. But it was legit. I mean, the reality of it was the day after, we can act like it wasn't really going on, but it was going on. The fan base was furious when he lost that game to Michigan. And to his everlasting credit and his team's everlasting credit, they turned it all around. What are the right things to say this morning, Des, as the voice of college for us about Ryan Day?
Well, the first thing is I like Ryan Day as a person. I think he's a wonderful individual, and I think he's a good coach. And so I believe that you just say congratulations to Ryan Day. I also said that I think that at times he's probably, because he's a good guy, maybe just too good for that fan base, especially the part that the group who you were talking about who just, wanted him up out of there because of the loss to Michigan. But let's not like minimize this. It's not like he lost to Michigan. It was his 4th straight loss to Michigan. It wasn't just like they just lost to Michigan. Yeah, so it was the 4th straight loss to his, hated rival. That's why they reacted the way they did. So make sure you put context to that when you make, when you bring that into the equation. But I think that you just congratulate Ryan Day. He was able to right the ship. Ryan Day and his coaching staff. And congratulate them for winning the national championship, because now it's 2 years in a row that Big Ten team has won the national championship. And on the way, they knocked off 2 SEC schools, Tennessee and Texas, on the way to win the Natty.
Des got 2 shots.
Hey, Michigan guy can't claim an Ohio State title, too.
He said maybe that he's too good for that fan.
You got a Michigan fan pumping up Ohio State. I never in a million years.
It was masterful, because he started by saying, Michigan beat them 4 times in a row, and ended by saying,
he got it all in.
The SEC. Des, you did that thing, man. You did that.
Desmond managed in one with maintaining plausible deniability, I might add, to take a shot at Ohio State fans and the SEC.
Yes.
That's brilliantly done.
That's what I meant when I hired.
Desmond will be with us all morning long.